Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Your Gray Matters podcast. We're excited to have you. And what a week we've had. So many new subscribers, so many views. Thank you very much, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. We are privileged to have you. And this week, what a joyful podcast. Coach Ela Ziembicki is one of the great leaders of women. She's a business coach. She's a very successful entrepreneur. She calls herself a mompreneur, and she has knowledge that can help you in your life. So stay tuned, everybody, and welcome to Your Gray Matters podcast. Thanks a lot. Hi, everybody. I'm Neil from Your Gray Matters. Welcome back. It's Monday, and we are excited to have you. And we are extra excited this week to have a great person on the show. And as we always tell you, we believe that the human mind cannot be defeated. Great people do great things, and we're all great. We all have our own way. And today we have this amazing person named Ela Ziembicki. Did I say it right, Ela?
Ziembicki, it's Polish. Not everyone gets it right. It's okay.
Okay, fair enough. Well, my bride's family's from Poland, and they just call her maiden name Sims, but actually it was Simlowitz, so I get it. So, hey, everybody, and as you know, whether you have gray hair or no hair or red hair, but come on, we know what's under that red hair. You're going to love this podcast today. Ela, I have to tell you, everybody, Ela is one of those people who at a very young age, and she's young, she has already walked the walk. She doesn't just talk the talk. And she's a shining beacon already to so many women. And we call her Coach Ela. And Coach Ela, she's a really passionate advocate for women empowerment. She's a visionary behind the Beyond Business Makeover and the newly launched Level Up Ladies. And we're going to talk about those wonderful things that Ela is doing. Coach Ela, she's on a mission. It is to empower women to transform their lives through self-care and holistic well-being. She brings a wealth of knowledge. Like I said, she's already walked the walk. She does personalized coaching, and she brings transformative programs. I'm going to have to learn how to speak, designed to elevate women's health, vitality, and their mindset. Her journey is marked by a really deep commitment to guiding women towards vibrant health, balanced lifestyles, and empowered mindsets. We should all have that. She trained under some people who I actually trained under. She holds the John Maxwell certification for leadership coach and public speaking. I love John Maxwell. He taught me, Ela, Coach Ela. He said that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And it's all about helping people. I love that quote because I think it describes you so well. Everybody, Coach Ela is also a graduate of the Dale Carnegie course. And Dale Carnegie said, you can close more business in 2 months by becoming interested in people than by trying to get those people interested in you. And Coach Ela, again, obviously you've done that. Welcome, Ela. We're really, really excited to have you on the Your Gray Matters podcast.
It's great to be here. It's an honor to be here. So thank you for having me. I can't wait to have our conversation and just talk about women and how helping women is really, really important.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you right off the top, Ela, because I think it's so important. What is self-prioritization? Why is it so important to care for oneself?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. I think that, when we're very, very young, we're, self-indulgent. We only think about ourselves as we're growing up as children and adolescents. But as we hold responsibilities and gain careers and then possibly starting families or having extended families that we're taking care of, life gets in the way. And so as a woman, I find that women are obviously the nurturers, they're the multitaskers, they're the ones that are giving themselves entirely and are pretty selfless when they come into their own and being the nurturer. So self-prioritization is very, very pertinent as a woman, just to get their self back, to put time into themselves. And that just simply means, taking the time to do things that they love, that they need to do. Health and wellness is really, really important. It's the richness in our life. Money comes and goes, but our health is absolutely everything. So for a woman, always putting into everyone else, thinking of everyone else, especially as a mom myself of 4, I'm constantly running around thinking about the kids, putting their lunches together, picking them up from school, taking them to their priorities, their own priorities, their extracurricular activities, cooking, cleaning, doing all those things. A lot of women don't have time for themselves, besides even having a career. So taking some time to put into themselves is really important, because mentally, that's a make and break for a woman to actually burn out really quickly.
Yes.
And what I mean by burnout is, leading into depression, anxiety, a lot of stress that can come onto a woman. So taking that time to put into herself. So self-prioritization can be just little things. And I bring in strategies for women to do, small steps, and then putting the focus on themselves so they can get healthy, less stress, anxiety, depression, all of those things, in order to thrive and succeed in whatever goals that they have in the future.
Ella, I think the idea of making ourselves a priority is a decision. And my bride, Linda, has always said that once one makes a decision, one has no more questions about it. But on the other hand, sometimes it's hard to make a decision. And I think your message is so important, because we're entitled to prioritize ourselves, or we're no good to anybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And the other thing with that is, the prioritization, a lot of guilt is in there also. Especially as women, we hold a lot of guilt, and we don't think that, we've got to put into everyone else and not into ourselves. And that's just absolutely a myth. And it is a decision. And that's what a lot of women come to me for, and look at, inspiration and motivation, because I do walk the walk. I do the work myself, and I show that every single day. And with such a busy lifestyle, I still take the time for myself to do that, because the mental clarity and the wellness right there in itself is game changer. I would never trade that for the world. And it can make a huge difference for women who are struggling.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. Self-love is so important. I wanted to
Absolutely.
ask you, Coach Ella, what brought you to this point in your life? Tell us about some things in your own journey that led you to do this.
It's a really great question. I started off my career quite early on in the corporate field in Canada, and as a 20-year-old, single, and honestly had a great career. I was traveling all over the place. I was working even in between 50 to 80 hours a week. It was go, 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 workaholic.
Yep.
And then when the time came when I got married, had a child, we actually had to move to the United States for my ex-husband's career. And at that point, after having a child, I knew that moving to a new location, I couldn't have that corporate career, because I didn't want to be away from my children. And in a new environment, it was really important that I was with my children as much as possible. And that's the trade-off that you have as a woman and when you start a family. So I started my own online business, and it was in the MLM space, so multi-level marketing. And it was with an amazing company that was newly introduced. And I skyrocketed my business at that point. Within 8 months, I was top of the company. And I did that for over 8 years. It gave me the opportunity to stay at home, do what I love to do, make an incredible income at that time also. And things shifted. I was able to be with my family. I was able to do those things. But again, I was working a lot. I was building a team. I had an organization of over 12,000 women on my team and in my organization. So I was coaching constantly, building a team, building an organization. That's where the coaching came from.
Yeah.
So at that point, I wanted to be fully equipped, being a new entrepreneur and literally exploding at the time. I need to step back and really get the resources and skills and tools in order to coach women properly.
Right.
And so I did the John Maxwell program and got certified with coaching. And so in 2016, that's when I started that. In 2014, I started my entrepreneurial venture. And at that point, I loved working with women. I loved working with women who were looking for a side hustle or wanted to make a great income. And I was able to help a lot of women grow a business. I was able to build a community within that because a lot of women are looking for community too. Some women don't even want the side hustle, they just want the community.
Yes.
So I was able to provide that. And as an organization, we're able to do that. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely amazing. And then a couple of years ago, I decided to leave the network marketing industry and really focus on coaching. I really wanted to work on working one-on-one with women. And I was working with business women, career-oriented women. That's where I came up with the business Makeover. And it's working with women on mindset, making money, and marketing it. So those are the three pillars that I worked with women, because a lot of women have blockages. And unfortunately, they don't have a lot of time, maybe even also. So it was working with them and building the mindset to, really kick butt, be a boss lady, be empowered, but also to be there for their family also and create that kind of balance. So, fulfilling that need of, being a woman and independent is also great, but it's also so important to still put into your family or lifestyle or everything outside of that. And then a couple of years ago, we went through, a huge pandemic.
Yeah.
I also went through a divorce prior to that and met an amazing man who and we built a blended family. And not only did I have 2 kids of my own, now I have 4 as a household. And so that's a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot during COVID. But COVID really, and the pandemic really took a toll on me. And I think it did on a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've always yo-yoed in my own personal wellness. And so I took charge just a couple years ago. And now I'm at the gym every single day. I consider myself a gym rat. I used to be an athlete in high school, but now I feel like I've regained that back. And to tell you the truth, I think I'm in my best form, shape, and wellness in my entire life. And so it's been a beautiful transition. So not only am I helping women with their businesses, but it's brought me to the whole health and wellness too.
Yeah.
And I've had some really great strategies and techniques that I've used to turn my life around. In my whole, even physical transition has been a big one in just the last year alone. So I want to help other women who reach out to me all the time. I have so many women that inbox me. I'm so motivated. You're an inspiration. I'd love to do that. I just don't have the time. It's just a lot of things that our women are going through and struggling and are not able to get to that point. So I've opened up the window for health and wellness. And so women can go through that and move through that struggle and take themselves as a priority. And it goes right in line with women who are career oriented and in business.
Boy, oh boy, it's terrific what you're doing. And I think that you must have observed a lot of challenges that women have in trying to get to where they want to be. But more than that, I'm really curious about how they manifest themselves. What are you seeing out there with the women who you help?
Yeah, so I see a lot. Number one, it's self-image. I
Mhm.
find a lot of women that are struggling right now. Specifically, as we get older, our body changes. A woman goes through many different cycles of her life. And if she is a person who's obviously having children, her body will yo-yo, her health will yo-yo, hormones, all of those great things about being a woman. And so self-image and confidence become a huge, huge factor. I'm one that is a testament of that. And I think that every single woman has some self-image issues. And the thing is that the way that we're programmed in society, we are made to think that we have to look a certain way and do certain things, but every single person is different. So the problem with that is the self-love is not there.
Yes.
A lot of women struggle with that. It's also the motivation. You know, they might not have a community. They might not have someone that they can lean on or be really supportive. Maybe they have a lot of toxicity or negative people around them. And so that causes it too. And then the time management, just not having the time and carving out those things. But this is what I say to my clients. You make some things a priority, obviously, right? Because we have jobs and all those things, but you can carve out time to make yourself a priority. And if you don't do that, you might run the risks of, you know, obviously the burnout, not being healthy, you know, going through the phases of life and going into some type of depression, anxiety, burnout, stress, and all of those things. So that's what I find a lot of women come to me about or we talk about. And those are the most common denominators that I find with women. They're just going through different phases of their life and they want changes. They just don't want to be in the same place. And I love women who don't like complacency. I love women who are always looking to grow themselves. And I think that our whole life is a huge journey. And I think that as we go through this journey of ups and downs, it's really important to be mentally clear, mentally really focused. And with that, the health and wellness plays a huge, huge factor in that.
Yeah, I think you're so right. And to be honest with you, Ella, I made some great changes a number of years ago in my own health. And I, you know, it makes such a difference, even though physically I'm so much better.
Yeah.
And most people know from the show I'm a diabetic, but I attended to my health. I've reduced my waist from a 43 to a 35. And that's because it became a priority. And so I really understand what you're saying. But the fact that you do it and you also help others do it is why I'm so glad to have you on today, because the truth is, someone once taught me, they said, there's no such thing as priorities, plural. Priority by its definition is only one.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah,
true.
it brings up that whole issue for everybody, but especially women, I think, of that balance between work
Mhm.
and family, your own personal well-being. Like,
Mhm.
how does your coaching help people with this? Because, man, there are many pieces to that puzzle.
Yeah, I have many different strategies. I've created this blueprint for women and it's really doing the work. So I have put together a group program and also a one-on-one program. Our group program is about an 8-week journey. And each week we're doing coaching all together. And that's just doing the work. It's about creating those habits and making those changes. The one-on-one coaching, I have a program that's about a 3-month length, 12 weeks. And the reason why I do that is because we need to do the work. We need to be accountable of what we're doing. And that's where I come in. I'm there to be a cheerleader, which sounds so cliche, but
No, not
sometimes
at
women
all.
just need that support.
Yeah.
I am hard when I need to. So I am in my feminine, but I can be in my masculine just like that. I'm a Capricorn. So it's about doing the work. And then what it's also doing is building that community and having that support system right there. But it's about creating those habits. And unfortunately, people fall out of the things that they used to do. And
Yes.
so it's now about building up that again. And it's about doing the small things. So we don't do like, okay, I'm not going to ask you to run a marathon tomorrow because it sometimes it's just not possible. But it's about making the small changes and being consistent with them. That's how I started off. I've started off everything as a small thing and it grew into bigger things. And every single time I've challenged myself more. And so what I find is women can't even challenge themselves because they don't have the time to do it.
Right.
So when they come into the program, it's not a 1 foot in, 1 foot out type of program. It is really something that they need to commit to, because it is something that women really need to stand with. Like I said, we're multitaskers. We'll do a whole bunch of things. We'll have so many balls juggling in the air, and something's about to drop if we don't start taking care of certain things.
Yes.
So not only taking care of themselves, but we also do a lot of goal setting. Like we talk about a lot of things about life and all those things. It's not like a cookie cutter with a personal trainer or anything like that. I'm a coach that works with women from A to Z. We talk about the mindset, we talk about nutrition, we talk about those habits. And the thing is that the program is not one size fits all. It is customized to every single person.
Mm-hmm.
We are all made differently. We all function differently. We like different things. We eat different things, or we may have intolerance or anything, certain things like that. So we all kind of work into that specific person and work into a strategy through my blueprint of getting them to their goals. And it's about achieving their goals. It's not about achieving my goals or someone else's goals or what a program is. It's about achieving their goals and what they want out of it. So I'm all about results. I'm all about tangible things, about using the SMART technical term that we use for having qualitative and quantitative. But yes, when they work with me or work with a coach like me, it's more than just health and wellness. It's everything encompassed. It's basically their life as a life coach. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fantastic what you're doing. And so you help them to plot the plan. And if they stay on the plan, it's going to work. And if something's happening from either
Yep.
side in their life, they have you to come to help them get back on the path.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's
Absolutely.
fantastic. I wanted to ask you, I've always believed that your attitude makes a big, big difference in
Huge.
where you're going to end up. So the reason I made that comment about the attitude, Ella, is
Yeah,
because I think that people have to actually learn how to love themselves. It's as
Mhm.
much mental as physical. In fact, I
For
think
sure.
all emotional and mental. And the whole idea of having the right attitude, and someone once said to me, it's not only the attitude that you can develop for yourself, but it's the gratitude that you have for the life that you're having and that you're moving towards. Do you agree with those two concepts?
Mindset is absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. And that's why I love having a partner like I do in life, because we feel the same way. And he actually did a podcast with you in regards to mindset. And unfortunately, women can get very down on themselves, very self-critical, and like the self-image, like I said. But it's really, really important to have a really great attitude, a positive one. And so those are even the small techniques that I help women with in regards to mindset. I have meditations that I have available that are within the program. And that meditation is just to simply put time into yourself and reaffirming the affirmations as a woman, even manifesting your future goals or career or money or whatever that may be. So I have a 10-part series on that. There's other techniques that I use also. I used to journal every single morning, still do. But that's another thing, that the mindset that you have, even putting it on paper, if it's something negative or toxic, even putting it out, having that time to kind of dwell on that, but then to move forward quickly and change it. It's all about programming. So when I work with women, it is about programming in the right mindset, because the right mindset will keep you consistent, will keep you motivated, won't get you discouraged or frustrated. It's very easy. It's very easy for a woman to scroll through Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and see these amazing women out there killing it in the world, looking amazing. But that's not necessarily reality. They're only just posting what content you want to see. And so women get really discouraged. And so their mindset then can really deflate because of what they see out there. And it's a personal journey. It's not about whatever that is. And to tell you the truth, women go through fads. there's styles out there. There used to be like heroin chic. Now it's kind of like mob boss, you know, the curvy woman, the really slender woman, you know, I guess what was it in the 90s? It was the really slender woman. Now it's like the Kardashian type of curvy. But what I want women to realize, and when I talk to women, is your body is your body. You don't need to fit a certain mold. Do what you need to do for your own body type, for your own health and wellness, because at that point you are programmed to think that you need to be in a certain way and to fit into a box.
Yeah.
And that's not what life is about. Life is about living a very fulfilled and happy life, and you know, being as healthy as possible. And so that's what a lot of women kind of struggle with. But it's really important for women to really have that mindset of winning, because women are such winners. They're such winners, but they don't think that they are. So
Well, none of us would be here if it wasn't for the women. So,
yeah.
and on this show, I often talk about the fact that my mom's 91, still living on her own, and my mother-in-law is 92, still living on her own. And these are fascinating women, brilliant women, but they didn't have as much of a chance as they were growing up to be able to do what they wanted to do. It just
Sure.
wasn't the thing to do. It's joyful that women, men, people can do what they want to do. And if they don't know how, they can find great people like you to help them along. But I'm sure that, Ella, you want them to know that it's their journey and they're in
Yes.
control. And I found that hard to learn in my earlier years, that you
Yep.
actually get to make your own decisions, but it's okay to get a helping hand, a hand up. And that's exactly what Coach Ella is doing for people. Wow, I want to take your course, but I don't know if you'll let me in. I mind you, I hang out with your partner there, and that's a good ride too. He's pretty terrific. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned two specific programs, and you may have touched on them already, but just to circle back, let's start with Beyond Business Makeover. Can you just talk about that a little bit for me?
Absolutely. So I also work with women on the Beyond Business Makeover one-on-one, and that's diving into 3 pillars. Mindset number 1. So if a woman's coming to me and maybe hit a plateau or struggling with her business or her career, or maybe making a transition, I help women through transitions also. And so we need to make sure that their mindset is completely right at that point. We dive deep, have assessments, and then see where we need to go with that. That's also has to do with goal setting too. So getting them from one point to the next point. Money, we talk about money in regards to their business and where they want to grow to and how to do that, and manifesting it also. A lot of women are stuck on that, or the way that they've been raised, or the way that they've been programmed with their relationship with money could be holding them back. And then there's also marketing. So marketing is so important these days. You know, it's not like it used to be back in the day. You know, we've got social media, we've got the computer, we've got the internet. And so it's a very noisy world out there. It's not door-to-door sales anymore. And so in order to make money and to build their business or their career, how can they really market themselves? Really know who their avatar or archetype is, who's their client, how to market towards them, creating content, and really building also a brand, even though I don't do the branding for them. But we talk about all those things and how to really assess their business and how to kind of move forward for that business, for it to excel. I do believe that I do have a vast majority of experience in social media, because that's how I originally grew my online business. So that's what we do in the Beyond Business Makeover. It's basically creating new goals, transitioning a woman to go from point A to point Z, and to really get results, and to obviously profit more, or to make more money, or to maybe change careers into something that they really want to do.
Wow. So it really is a way to help people to gain their own personal joy, is what you're
Yes,
talking about. And joy
absolutely.
is everything to me. And then you have something else that you've just newly launched called Level Up Ladies. And I'm curious
Yes.
about that.
Yes, I'm so excited. So it really came to me last fall, so before the new year, and I've just had such an amazing experience. Like, it has been life-changing for me to go through this journey of just so much positivity and in health and wellness. And so that was starting off very, very small. I'll just give a little bit backtrack of this. So I came up with the Level Up Ladies because after the pandemic, I went through a really, really low point. I also have some background things happening in my life that I don't necessarily divulge. And so that was weighing heavy on me, like a dark cloud.
Mhm.
And so, in order to mentally revive myself and reinvent myself, I thought, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to start journaling. I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to buy a treadmill because at that point, nothing was really open at the time. So I bought a treadmill for my basement, and I'm going to do my own personal development by listening to audibles, right? Kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to get my steps in because I have an Apple Watch. I'm like, I'm going to get 10,000 steps in every single day while listening to amazing books on personal development.
Yeah.
And I listened to Think and Grow Rich. I thought The Atomic Habits, all of those books. Well, walking became really boring for me after a while. So then I started running on the treadmill. Neil, I'm not a runner. I hate running. I
I
hate
hear
running,
you.
but it was my next motivation. So I started running on the treadmill, and I'm like, okay, well, if I'm running, maybe I'll challenge myself and run a 10K, not a marathon, but a 10K race. So I did one in Niagara Falls. I killed that one. I had a goal of doing it within an hour, which is not that fast, but for me, it was fast. And I did that. And then after that, I ended up joining a gym locally, and it is more of a cross-training community type setting. Loved it, entered in a challenge there, and then won that challenge as one of the female competitors.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
that was like a badge of honor. I loved it. And then, through the summer, it was about really nutrition. And I mean, like, I cook in the home, and so we eat very well, but everything is very nutritious. I've gone back to the roots of very organic, not having carbs, processed sugars, all of those things. So not only just working out, like, we did a whole cleanse of our house, our bodies, and everything. And you know what? During this fall, after being so healthy and doing all these things, the natural transition for me was to go into health and wellness and to help women do the exact same thing, because I had so many women outpour to me and keep on writing me with all of the videos that I post or the content. And I'm like, you know what? I really do want to help other women. I really do want to help other women to feel as amazing as I do. And I know how other women feel too when they go through this transition. And really, it's what you do on the outside, but it's also what you put in on the inside.
Oh, yeah. For
It makes
sure.
a huge difference on clarity, what you eat, your gut health, all those things. And so Level Up Ladies touches on all of those things. It touches on nutrition. It touches on exercise, movement. Mindset is one of the biggest ones. So we definitely touch on that. And so I've come out with two different programs, which is a group coaching and then a one-on-one coaching, as I mentioned before. But also, I'm going to be also launching a women's podcast in the near future called Level Up Ladies also. That was supposed to
Wonderful.
start last spring. But there's just going to be a lot of touch points and community out there. And that's what I want to build for women. I really want to build that motivation for women and the inspiration that they can do the same. And I really, really think that there is a power in numbers. And I think that if women really join hands together, this world would be such a better place while we're lifting each other up
Oh,
instead of
yeah.
tearing each other down.
Yes, exactly. We
And
need a lot
so
more
that
of that.
Yes, and that's where Level Up Ladies, stem from. It's all about, the power of the mind, body, and soul. It is about the holistic healing. I don't want to get into the pharmaceutical stuff or anything like that, but I really do feel like the best antidepressant is movement. I really feel like nature out there and movement, even outside and doing the things, is the best antidepressant. What we eat is a product of our health also. And so if we touch on those points and help women to get through that, I think that it will be life-changing for them. And it is for a lot of women. And women just need that support. Women just need that accountability. Women just need that person behind them to make sure that they're doing what they need to do without any guilt and putting time into themselves. I'm that support system that will tell them they need to do that, because if they don't, they're going to fall short. Things will fall apart in their life.
Yep.
It's happened with me. It's happened with, ups and downs, but it's happened with a lot of women that I know. And I think that this is an amazing solution for them.
So, Ella, if I can just drill down a little bit more, because I believe everything that you said. That's why I asked you onto the show, because you really are fantastic. But not everybody yet gets the message. So if someone is
Mhm.
contemplating having a coach, having Coach Ella specifically,
Mhm.
what are the indicators that they might find or that they should look for to know that they're a great candidate to work with you?
Yeah, it's anyone that's going through some resistance in their life that's seeking help in regards to it. There's a lot of women that want help, just won't ask for it. We are women that go through a lot of things and we internalize and we think that we can get through it on our own. But just like tribes in ancient times and even tribes today, you need that support system to move you along or to help you with those things. And so a lot of women are struggling out there, especially even after the pandemic. A lot of women are even on their own. A lot of them are working at home, don't have that environment of even going to work in a big setting anymore. So there's a lot of women that are alone or feel alone. And so an indication is if they're struggling with, the time management, the self-prioritizing, the self-sabotage, the self-image, seek the help. That's why there's coaches around and that can help you with those strategies. And if you contact a good coach, they will have these blueprints. They'll sit with you, have a discovery call with you, and see that if you're even a good fit.
Yes.
For myself, I always have a discovery call or a consultation with a client. I will never try to sell them a program without really getting to know them and seeing if we are a fit. Energies need to align.
Yes.
The vibrancies need to align. Like it just needs to align. And so I won't take on a client if I really don't think that they'll be fully committed, right? I want women to succeed, or the fact that they're just not 100% certain at that point. So I'm working with women that are all in, who really want a change. They really don't want to be in the spinning wheel that they're in right now.
Mhm.
So that's an indication. A woman that's really struggling or just doesn't have the time. And that's where I help you get back the time, help
Mhm.
you prioritize yourself, because a woman who takes care of themselves, okay, will be so much better for anyone around them, whether it's their
Yeah.
family, their extended family, work environments, right? If a woman is not in herself and does not feel 100% and kind of takes a step back, if she's burned out, she's not good for anyone.
Yes.
The kids will suffer, the family life will suffer, the crankiness, the frustration, the stress. It can create a huge impact in a household or even work environment or careers. And then that spirals into other things.
Yes.
So it's about women that are struggling and really need that help.
So good to know. And we, Linda and I, are always learning about and finding out and practicing how to be in alignment. And that's really what you're doing. You're helping people to be aligned with themselves and to be able to go forward. I think you're marvelous. Just before we find out how people can contact you, I know that you're involved in your own personal project. We all have dreams
I
and
am.
goals, and I really love that you have your dream. Talk a bit about what Ella's doing when she's not doing what she's doing.
So this is another strategy that I help women with, is always creating new challenges, new bucket lists. And so another little challenge that I put in for myself that was never on my bucket list before, but now it is. I wanted to enter into a bikini competition. And I know that could be sometimes really vain, but it is a fantastic way to transition and transform and composition of your body. And I have been to the point where I feel so great that I want to take my body to the next limit. I want to really excel and stand on a stage. You know, back in the day, I've been involved in many different things like pageants and things like that. And, you know, now that I'm 43, there's less things for me to kind of do. But at 43, I thought, what better way to show my children, which is why I do a lot of the things that I do. I want them to know that not only am I their sounding board, their advocate, and their mother, and I put all of my time and energy into them as much as I can, that mommy also has a life. Mommy also has things that she needs to prioritize. And I want to be an example for my kids, not only for, you know, other women, but I really want to be an example for my kids. So when they grow older, and I have a young little girl of my own, and then obviously a stepdaughter, and I want to be that inspiration for them.
Yes.
And so this is a challenge for myself. So by the end of the year, I will be in a competition, and it's never been on my vision board before. It really wasn't. It's just a next step for me. It's okay. I've already done a race. Okay, I really don't like running, but I did it. I conquered it. I've been, you know, entering different competitions, and I feel like this is my next step. I created a new goal for myself as a coach. I created a new goal, and I'm going to continue to challenge myself until I am, you know, every grade matters, until I'm older, and make sure that I'm constantly challenging myself, because I want to feel young. I want to feel vibrant, and I want to keep on showing people that, you know, we don't need to be complacent, you know, and life is full of opportunities. And I feel like our life and our journey is just like an ongoing one. And why just sit still? I think that it's just boring, personally. So this is my next challenge. It's something that I want to show that, you know, it doesn't need to be that. It doesn't need to be a competition, like a fitness competition. It can be anything. And
Yes.
so that's just for me. And it's not for any other purpose, just to be on that stage once and say that I did it, and show that, you know, my kids that, you know, I want to be a great example for them.
This is so fantastic. Well, we know
Yeah.
that you will get there. We know that you will do well, and we know that you will reach your own joy with this. Ela, Coach Ela, you are fantastic. I'm so glad that we were able to have you on our podcast, Your Gray Matters. I'm looking forward to watching your podcast when it comes out. And let me just
Thanks,
ask you,
Neil.
Ella, I know people are going to want to get a hold of you, so please tell us how to get a hold of you, and we will certainly post it on this podcast.
Absolutely. Now, if anyone is wondering or would like to have a call with me or just to chat, you can reach me at coachelamakeover.com. I have a new website going to be launching with new offers and different guides in health and wellness also. And you'll be able to find that at coachella.co. And also, you can find me on any social media platform. You can find me under Ela Ziembicki on Facebook, Coach Ela on Facebook, Coach Ela on Instagram and TikTok. But yes, you can find me on all of those platforms. I love the following. I love the support. I post content on there quite often, and little tips and tricks also that I'll be posting as I keep on going. But you can find me there and get some great content that you can actually see and watch. And so, yeah, that's how you can find me. And I believe I'll just give you even my email address so you can put that in the below. And yes, that's how you can find me.
Hey, Ella, thank you so much. Your love for yourself and your love for people just comes through every pore. You are
Thank you.
fantastic. We're all lucky to have you on the podcast today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back again next Monday, but I encourage you, get a hold of Coach Ella. She's fantastic. Bye, everybody. Ella, thanks again.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thanks, Neil.
Hey, everybody. Thanks very much for watching today. We appreciate it. Please subscribe to our podcast. It really helps us grow and it makes us stronger, and we appreciate you doing it.